one is on Instagram. All right. So, all right. Can we see the screen?
No.
No. No.
No.
In a bit.
No.
In in a bit. All right, in a bit. I heard this meeting is being recorded, so I remembered that anytime it happens, he cancels. How about now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right, great, great. Okay, so uh, uh, the careful usage of contrast
Sir, we can't hear you. The line is breaking.
make your text be readable on the design. So for this design, it has great contrast, meaning the,
Hello, sir.
You are breaking, sir.
the difference between
Mr. Dan, you are breaking. We can't hear you clearly.
this shade, this background is very
Mr.
different
Dan.
from
Hello, sir. If you can hear us, we can't hear you. The line is breaking.
the color of this text. You can read this text.
Hello, Mr. Dan, can you hear us? Mr. Dan, can you hear us?
Easily without.
Hello, Mr. Dan, can you hear us?
I think he can't hear us. He can't hear us. That's why he
having to
keeps
stress.
talking, thinking we can
Yeah,
hear him.
we are not following him. We are not hearing anything he's saying.
No.
Obviously, he can't hear us.
And he's not also reading the chat.
Right. Right.
But well, I'm thinking he's meant to be hearing us. I'm wondering why he's not
Then
hearing us.
It's because of his network. Let me try to put a call through to him, please.
It's all right if you can. Maybe that will be better.
All right, sorry, don't worry about that. Let me try and reach out to him.
and the next color here. Hello. Hello everyone.
Hi. Hello, sir. Can hear you now.
Hello, we can hear you now.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Okay, you can hear me now. I'm so sorry. My network tripped off. So I was trying to change the network. All right. I'm so sorry for the listen. All right. So I'll go back to sharing the screen now. I'll go back to sharing the screen. All right. Can you still see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You could not. My network. The issue. One of the issues we have in the country. All right. So I think we are done with legit bus design. So this is a great design and everything looks good. All right. So
Sir,
the
we didn't get all the what's it called? All the points you dropped. The moment you start analyzing the design, your voice was breaking.
Oh, okay. All right, no problem. I'll go back. I'll go back from the listen. All right. So as I was saying, when we talk about contrast, right? I said we try and remember
Okay, this is from my end. I can't hear him anymore.
Same here. We can't hear him too.
We can
I
hear
guess
him too.
network.
Maybe he should log out the meeting and rejoin again. I think his network is really having a challenge. Maybe he should leave the meeting and try reconnecting. And he should also stay connected to the chat so he sees what people are saying.
All right, guys. So I just spoke with him. He's trying to reconnect. So let's just give him a few minutes. Maybe when he comes back, everything should work smoothly.
Hello. I can't hear anything. I don't know if it's just me or is the meeting still on?
Still waiting for him. We're still waiting for him. Is
Yeah, he
everyone?
said he's going to reach out to the man.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, can we see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Once again, I apologize for the interruption on the rest. All right. So, okay, we're talking about Margaret's design. Said is playful. It's playful. It has the elements, the love do on it, and the playfulness of it shows. So, at times, as a designer, your personality sort of seeps through your design sometimes. But brands, when you are designing for brands, they want their personalities to seep through their design. So they want people to see their personality through their design. So that is why they have colors that describes them, right?
Sorry,
The
Mr.
colors,
Danity. Can everyone
yeah.
hear him? So I feel like it's breaking again.
I'm breaking.
No, can anyone confirm this?
God.
No, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Thank God.
Oh, okay, you can hear him. Oh, okay, well, that's fine.
Yes.
I guess it's from my end.
All
All right,
right.
sorry about
Thank
that.
you for
Thank you. Continue.
Nah, no issue. No issue. All right. So I was saying, designs basically, your personality seeps through your design. That is why brands make sure that they have colors, they have the type of text they use, and the type of photography that suits their business. Right. So for brands to want their personality seep through, their color has to be consistent. They have to know that, okay, yes, this is this brand without even see their logo or anything. So the design is playful. And yeah, okay, what I was saying about my concern was this favorite color. I was asking if you can you see it at the glance, or do you think this font right here is the best? Could have been maybe something different. Okay, let me. Oh, John, you say I'm breaking again. Am I still breaking up now?
I don't think so. I can hear you.
No.
Okay, okay. All right, John. John, I guess maybe it's not my network this time. Might be your network. All right, so okay, let's move on to the next one. We have okay, so this is the next design now. So we have, so let's take few minutes or seconds to analyze the design first. So before we go right into it, okay. So we have, hi, what's your name? Then there's the answer. Olanike, what track are you in? Digital marketing? Any favorite food? All right, dream workplace, flutter wave, contact me. All right, so if there's one thing I noticed about this design is the choice of color is very minimal. The designer chose to use two color sets, not going overboard, not doing too much, just two color sets straight to the point. All right, so from the beginning there is a pointer. You see this font here, my life. This is my life motto, right? Then you have contact me with the same font as this one. Then you have what track are you in. So when you see this font, you see it repeating in different sections of the design, and that is repetition in play at first, right? Then when you now see it repeating in different section of the design, you now realize it has specific functions. So in this place now, it is functioning as a life motto. That means what is telling you about the life motto. Then the second one again, this repetition, that means the same font is also repeating as a contact address. The font again is here repeating as what, trying to tell you what track, is asking the question of what track you are in. So this is where repetition also comes into play. You can repeat one element more than once in design to show either emphasis or to make it function as being in the same group. So we know that this thing has been repeated in this design to show that everything that you see in this font here right now is an introductory message or question that gives you more information about the user. So the color choice too has been reduced to just two, which is good. All right. So the placement on this left, this picture now, you have to consider this picture in relative to this rectangle, this long one to the edge, right? You have to consider it. So the picture is perfectly placed up top, and in between there is equal space between here and the picture, and also equal space between this place. So this picture now in itself is aligned centered only to this rectangle, right? Then the text that come under, also they're also aligned centered to the picture. So you can see element one, which is the picture, my life motto and the motto itself, then contact address, everything, they're all aligned to the center. Then again, we spoke about line. We said line we can have straight line, you can have wavy line, you can have curly line, or even dotted lines, right? So in this case now we have lines. I remember we said in design, everything you use is intentional. There is a purpose for everything you use. So basically now this line in this design has been used as a divider between one element and the other one. I mean, even without placing the lines in this design, yeah, you can still read that, okay, you can differentiate this, what track are you in, from this one. Without placing the line in this design, you can actually differentiate them. But then with placing the line in it, it makes the division more distinct. That means you are able to see each section as what they are without confusing them for one another. Then going back to saying if this design had existed without lines, you would have known that this design actually had the same thing because of the principle of proximity that says that anything that is close together, seems to be close together, everything close together seems to appear to have the same function. If this line was not in this design and you see this one, you know that this one definitely is the answer to this question because they are close together. You cannot say you cannot confuse any favorite food for dream big, ride waves, taste life because they are not close together. This one is on this side, is on the left. They are not close. This one is on the right. So anything that is close together seems to have the same relationship. That is why jollof rice answers the question as to any favorite food. All right. So that's the design for Olanike. So if there's any question or anything that you would like to ask or anything, just say before we move on. Okay, digital fab. All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know if you've mentioned this app because my network is also kind of epileptic at the moment. So I think what I noticed was, yes, there's consistency in our text, but there's no consistency in the spacing. I don't know if that had been mentioned. So between the question and like for instance, my name is what's my name? The space between
Right.
our name and what's it called, and the question
And name
is
itself.
not consistent down to dream workplace. So like I think she needs to work on that.
All right. All right.
Then the lines, they are not well aligned together. Yeah, I think that's the only thing I noticed.
Okay. Thank you very much, Digital Fab. Thank you very
Compared to
much.
the right side, like yeah, my life motto and contact me, there is consistency in the spacing compared to the other side.
Okay. All right. So thank you. That is a great observation right there. All right. So just like she was saying, I don't know if you heard, but I sort of felt like a network was breaking. It was easy, but I could get what she was saying. So yes, just as the observation has stated now, the space, the space in between. There are different things you use to achieve consistency. It can be the space between your element, the space in between the elements. It can be the elements themselves, right? So we said consistency now. When you will look at the font of my life motto, contact me. What track are you in? There's actually consistency in this part, right? But then when you now start to look at the space between this one, hi, what's my name, and our name, if you look at the space between, that means between hi, what's my name, and her name right here, this space is quite large, right? Then when you now move on to the next one, so okay, let's say we agree that okay, this one up top is a different element entirely. This one is big. So if we now come down to this place, what track are you in? The answer, digital marketing, right? There's a space in between which ought to be. But then when we move down to any favorite food, the space between jollof rice and fried fish to the question is much closer than this one if you look at it carefully, right? So then the next space here right now, absolutely, this one now sort of looks like to be the same thing as this one. So you agree there is no consistency between, excuse me, there's no consistency between the spacing between each element on this section. The ones on this section, there's actually equal spacing. It is, you can see my life motto, there's space, contact me, and there's space between this one. So yes, like she was saying, again, what she mentioned again, there's the lines, this line, this white line, and this one, they are not properly aligned. Carefully, you see that this one actually juts to the left more than this one. If you draw a straight line down, you see that this one actually is to the left more than this one. This one actually goes to the right. Then you want to try as much as possible to make sure that your design is balanced. Any elements you are using in your design, you make sure try as much as possible that you try and balance them. All right. So I mean, no business. I mean, nobody, no customer wants to trust a brand that does not have a balanced system or a balanced design or a balanced way of communicating. If you see let's say okay, let's say for instance now yeah, just like the way we have I have issue with my network now. So let's say Airtel. Airtel, for instance, now people trust Airtel because their network is good, and everybody knows that Airtel uses red. If for any reason at all, Airtel just wakes up one day and use green, right? We'll be skeptical about it and start to wonder that, okay, why is Airtel using green? What is this? So then if Airtel starts changing the colors, like today green, tomorrow red, today, there is no consistency. You don't trust a brand that does not have consistency. Speaking about consistency now, uh, to the fashion designers, yeah, this is no this, but because tailors now, tailors mostly, I think over the years now, people say you cannot trust your tailor because there is no consistency in the way some of them deliver. I had to use some. You have some who deliver very well. So in the way they do not deliver very, so that is they are not consistent in their delivery. So people tend not to trust them. You understand? So if that one can happen for a fashion designer, now think about a brand. I mean, a fashion designer himself or herself is a brand. All right. So you have to make sure in every of your activity, in every of your aspect, you are consistent in it. The same goes for your design too. The designs have to be consistent, so people would know when they see them. All right. So we used to say the things about design is that when your design is good, when your design is really really good, people will not notice it. People will not notice that design is good because I mean the function of your design itself is to pass a message. So if people can pick the message from your design, it is straight, it is direct. Your message, even your communication, exactly. If you are communicating and people can just understand you easily, there's no problem with it. But the moment your grammar is faulty, you have a little bit of maybe inappropriacy in your grammar, people would laugh. Some people would not even understand, right? So you have to be consistent in the way. So a good design, people do not notice it because it is good. It has done its function. In the same way as a good conversation, people do not notice, really do not notice the grammar. They don't even care about the grammar at the moment because I mean anything you are saying, they are understanding it. But if your grammar is bad, they notice. So people notice the bad things than the good ones. The same goes for your design, communication, and your marketing element and your marketing strategy or campaigns and the rest. All right, so we'll move on to the next slide. All right, so the first thing that caught my attention to with this design is the repetition of elements, right? This tone notebook element right here, this one, two, three. So the designer actually repeated this design, but used it for different information. So the first one is okay. We happy to meet you, Jewande. Then about her is right here. Then this one and this element down here. Okay. The picture too was placed on the left and tilted, just like every other element was done. Okay. So this is also a careful thought out design. Okay. All right. So I'm noticing something now. I'm noticing something. So on this first one, this one that has hello on it, the text, the text generally is aligned to the left. You can see the straight line between the text, right? This one is aligned to the left. Makes sense. The second one about me right here now, my best colors are purple and burgundy. I want to build a business and I am in no rush. All right. The text entirely here too is also aligned to the left, just as the same thing as about me. So, but then we now come down to hobbies. Hobbies is aligned to the center. I don't know if you can see it. Can you still see my screen? Let me check.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we
I
can.
can.
All right. So, okay, thank you very much. Okay, so as we were saying, the you see this first element, this first design, this first one right here, the text right here is aligned to the left. This one is aligned to the left. Then this one now changes. This one is aligned to the center, right? So this one now, this at this point in time, this one has interrupted the consistency between one and two, right? You want to make sure that your elements are consistent throughout your design. All right. But then in any case, right, we can say that the designer chose to use two types of alignments in the design. We have 1, 2 aligned to the left. Then we also have 1, 2 aligned to the center. Can you see this one? Let me zoom in a bit. This one is aligned to the center. This one is also aligned to the center. All right, so we can say the designer actually chose to use 2 types of alignment in the design, which is fair. It can go in the case of this type of design, right? So the little issue I may have is the text right here. For more interesting content, the text is not legible. I mean, it is not easy to read because you want your viewers to follow you for more interesting content. You want them to follow. You have to make sure that any information you are giving is visible. I mean, you have introduced yourself, and your viewers find you interesting and fun, and they feel like, okay, now this is the type of person I want to follow. This type of person I like to follow to see content from. So where do I follow this person, right? Because I mean, if I search for Yewande on social media, I'll see tons. I'll see hundreds of Yewande. Understand? So, but the only thing that sets you apart from the next person is the contact information you are given. So, when you are given the contact information, you have to make sure that it is legible. Your viewers can see it and can read it straight up and direct. All right. So, this one right here, you just change the font. You can change the font and make it something easy and straightforward to read. All right. So the color choice is good. You have brush strokes. This yellow word under the about me, another element that was used for emphasis to show the difference between this is the body of this content, this is the header of this content, and this is the body of the content. So good. You have flowers. You have flowers and you have everything related to it in the design. You have a butterfly or a moth flying through, and you have this little arrow is for aesthetics. All right, so you have this little arrow down here. I saw it first. I thought, okay, now this is for aesthetics, right? Then I'm seeing it here again. I'm also seeing it here again, and the tip of the arrow is actually pointing down to an element. So this is the dotted line, but this is the dotted curly line. The function of this one right here is now it is guiding the viewer's direction down here and down here. Okay, so it could work like that too, which makes sense. All right, so if there's any observation or anything, okay, Chima, let me, Olajide, I'll mute you after Chima.
Hello?
Yeah, Chima, I can hear you.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. I wanted to ask, is there anything like formal and then informal design?
Is there anything like formal and informal design?
Yes.
Okay, is that all?
Yeah, but I'm seeing some, yes. I'm seeing some design
Okay, yeah.
formal, while some informal. So I want to know, is it depending on the context or every design is formal?
Okay.
All
right, so I can hear you. I can hear you. All right. So so we'll address Chima's question first. He's asking if there anything like formal or informal design. Okay. So the type of design you make depends on your brand, the tone and the function of your brand, right? So if you have serious brands like take Nets Factory for instance now, without going far, Nets Factory for instance now. I'm not sure you would expect Net Factory to make design and have it scattered all over the place. There will be a structured design. You see those roll-up banners that are in the premises, those roll-up banners, you see the people on them dressing official, then you see the design just arranged normally, nothing is scattered and the rest. When you see designs like Apple's design and whatnot, are we on break? See people leaving. Okay, well, no problem.
No.
I'll visit our next. All right. So yes, the type of design you make, actually depends on the brand, right? So yes, in a way there is formal and informal design, but it actually depends on the brand you are working for, the design you are doing. If you are designing for a children's brand, maybe yes, a children's brand, you know, you have to make the design playful.
Yes.
You have to make the design playful. So in that way, now the design can be informal. But then I'm not sure designs are actually described with these terms as formal and informal. All right. So I'm not sure designs are always described as that. But your design has to just conform with the business you are trying to work for or portray. So Olajide, I'll omit
Thank
you.
you.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much. This hobby section of this design is bold, and the text is kind of different from the one of
Okay. Which section? The
the
hobbies, right?
hobbies. Yes, is bold. The text there is bold, and it's different from the other text above it.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I noticed it just now. All right. Okay. Now design. All right. So he said that this text here on hobbies is different from one, two, three. In fact, because if you look at it carefully, these ones are a bit they are thin, not bold. This one is thin too. But then when you now come down to this place, the text is bold, and the font itself is different from these two fonts, these three fonts. So this one now in itself has also interfered with the principle of consistency in the text and the weight of the text. So thank you very much for pointing that out, Olajide. So the designer could just try. You make sure that this font is the same thing as this one, and you align it to the left. All right. So that's that on this design. Okay. There's no hands up. So we'll move on to the next one. All right. So this is the next design. Now we have Damilola, a small business owner, a digital marketing trainee at Design U. All right. So she loves doing business and wants to be a successful business owner. All right. Spaghetti and fish. Nice. Okay. So the company I have always wished to work for is Deloitte Nigeria. Oh, okay. All right. So anything we notice about this design that we feel can be done better. Okay. Digital Fab.
Okay, so I just want to point something out. I noticed like most of the size of the design. Maybe we should try to help lay emphasis on what the size, depending on where you're going to post it. So it won't crop
Okay.
part of their work, because from my own screen, I could even for is it Yewande's design as well, part of it was cropped on my own screen. And the same thing with this one. So I'm thinking it's because of the size they used. So part of their design is cutting off because I'm using a mobile device. So imagine someone using a mobile device and they are unable to see the full design when it is posted.
Okay, let me check it on my mobile too. Yeah. Excuse me, what part of the design is chopped off in your mobile system? Let me okay. All right, okay. So just like Digital Fab just observed right now that when you are designing, you have to consider the place. I think one of the first few things you have to consider before designing is the place you are posting it to, right? You have to consider where you are posting it to. Where do you want to use this design? So that the place you are posting it to has a size. So it is that size you use to make your design. All right, so for Damilola, this is like a collage design where you have series of images pieced in together, all right, like a photo album sort of design. Okay, so and you have decided to have, okay, you have this element here that has your business name, and you have your favorite food is spaghetti. All right, so you can make design in any style, right? You can make design in different style, but you just have to try as much as possible to make sure that your design conforms to principle and is people can read it and get the message clearly from your design. All right. So first observation I have is this right here. After this love garland, is this garland or this love icon that you have here, we have these things that look like shadow. We have these two things that look like shadow. Angle. Okay, wait, sorry, don't let me go into this. So, so what I'm trying to say is, this
Mr. Dan, please
shadow,
check
this
with your
one.
screen. Check with your screen. I'm not seeing anything.
I'm not seeing anything on my screen. All right, let me stop. Let me share again. Let me share again. How about now?
Yes, it's okay now.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, so we're talking about Damlola's design now. We pointed to this love garland that is here, this love shaped flower that is here. So we're talking about these two things here, right? So if there was need for shadow, could have just been only this one if there was need for it. But this one right here is not necessary because it really doesn't have any function that is here. All right. So in general, this is a playful design, and the weight of the fonts, they are not consistent, and even the font style themselves, I mean, the type of the font are not consistent. This is a different type of font. This is a different type of font. This is also another different type of font, and they are all aligned differently on the design. So, and I noticed that this font right here does not really align with the box, the paper it is on top. You can see the difference between this. My favorite food and spaghetti is spaghetti and fish, right? Is aligned. That means it follows the line or the plane that this one is on, but this one isn't. All right. So okay, I'm seeing this smiley face. Okay, so I don't know what the function of this one is here, but maybe you are trying to tell your readers that you're a joyful person, right? But I don't know. So, but then you remember that any element you use in your design, it has to be a function for it. For instance, the function of this tape, the function of this tape in this design is to make it look like you're holding down this paper to the page. The function of this tape, the same thing. The function of this one, the same thing. This one is another, just another element to reinforce the fact that you're a lovely person, right? And all love, no hate. That is the function. So this one too, I don't know what function it does. All right. So if there's any observation to this state, and if there isn't, just go on.
Sir, something to
So
say.
the next designer we have Miriam. We have Miriam. All right. So for Miriam's designs is minimalistic in the sense that no too much colors, no nothing too much, nothing extra, just design and straight up to the point. All right. So she has different elements in play. The number one element here is the picture frame. The second one is a rectangle that has a office pin clipping it. Looks like it's clipping it to this place. Then our zodiac sign, love sign. Fun fact: I love to read exploring. They have about heart down here, evenly spaced. All right. So the first thing I noticed is this star element you put on this place. It is actually interfering with the text itself. So even if you may put this down, the star should not be on this place. You can just take it elsewhere. Right. So the color choice is actually nice. It's good. The color choice is nice. It's good. So you just remove the star, maybe put it somewhere else, or you take it off entirely. So that's that. Then again, okay, that's one was written. Okay, then again, the text itself. This my name is Oye. The body of the text, this entire one. By looking at it, you know it's aligned to the centered because you can see how aligned it is. You can see the line of becoming. Yeah, you can see the line of becoming interfering. Also, it is climbing over the frame of the image. You don't want this. You want each element to be independent, but yet cohesive in the design. Meaning you want each element to stand on their own to contribute to the design, but then you don't want them to clash. I mean, one element's visibility not disturbing the other element's visibility. Like the star we mentioned, the visibility of the star is disturbing the body of your text. So this one has to go somewhere else or go off entirely. Then this one now, your body of the text now is interfering with this frame. You may choose to tilt this frame to the left, or still you take this text, you align them to the right. When you align this text to the right, everything comes like this and it gives you more room. This one would remain the same and your text will still be on the same place it is without even changing anything, but then it will not interfere with this one. All right, so that's that. Okay, no question or addition. Slide on to the next one. This is a logo. Know about me. Okay, this is the same person. Business proposal. Okay. So apparently this designer did a business proposal starting with the logo, but the discussion right now is on about me. The first assignment we gave, we did not do this one. All right. So we'll come back to this one eventually. We'll come back to it, but let's discuss what we're doing at first. So let's see. All right. So we'll come back to this eventually. So let's just discuss what we're talking about first. All right. So this next design is on. Next design is from Tochuku. All right. So his next design is from Tochuku. Track digital marketing. Passionate. Okay. A passionate, hardworking, and practical entrepreneur. All right. Okay. So the color choice simple, straight to the point. No plenty colors. You have white. You have texture on the background. You can see the background. You have texture, right? But the minor thing there now is the texture is actually going over this purple rectangle, but then the opacity on it is reduced, so it is not really interfering with the design. So it still works. You can still go on. All right. So this first one now, it is assumed that because track is in the middle of digital marketing, right? So it is assumed that okay, this is centered alignment. But when we move down, we realize that this one to this one, this is a left aligned text, and it is not aligning with digital marketing. This one is on the left. You can see it on the left, right? But then digital marketing is a little bit further down it because digital marketing is aligned to the center of this one. So if anything, you could just move this one to this side and make sure this one can't remember where it is, but make sure that this one is aligned to the left. Excuse me. All right, so the next one is the bullet points down that says I would love to build my own business brand. No favorite food. All right. So little thing about bullet points is this one is still on the alignment, right? This one had to just go on the left. You have to make sure every of your elements is aligned. When you place them, they are aligned to the element or the general element of the design. So I would love to build my own business brand is okay, but I think when you are typing, if it is a bullet point, the next line actually starts from here and not go back here. All right. So this one now is going under your bullet points, which ought not to be so. So in any case, you try as much as possible to reduce this rectangle. Try as much as possible to reduce it. You make sure it starts from here, right? Then you place this one right here and you move this one to fit the same frame. Then the next one is your name. You can see that your your picture frame itself is perfectly placed, is all right, but the name is not aligned to the picture. That means your name is coming out to the left more than it is to the right. So you want to try as much as possible to align your name to the picture. You may think that okay, the way the name is, the way the name is right now. If you move it to the right, it may come close to this place, which is not nice, which is not good. So what you could do is you can reduce the size of the name. If you reduce the size of the name by maybe how many pixels, I don't know, just reduce the size of the name. When you reduce the size of the name, you may be able to align it to your image, right? So when you place it, you just have maybe little of the text coming out, little of the text coming out. That is also the principle of balance. You are trying to create a balance between two elements. That means this image and your name. But the way it is now, it is not balanced. All right. So our social media handles, Paramount Apparels and more, is directly put under, so you can go onto it. So you see this one also too is more to the left. See, it's more to the left than it is to the right. It's almost the same thing as this one. So 1, 2, 3 down. The alignment on it is off. So this one can remain the same size as it is. Then if you use Figma for your design, when you're using Figma to design, when you drag an element in Figma, you'll be seeing small lines or numbers on Figma. They are called guidelines. So you see those guidelines, they are the ones that will let you know that okay, I have come to the center of this element, so I can drop it here. I have come to the edge of this element, I can drop it here. So it is with this guidelines you will be able to place your system accurately. This said you can't hear anything. Can anybody else hear me?
Yes, I can hear you,
you.
sir.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yes, I can hear.
all right. Just said maybe I using Nine Mobile just like I was doing before. Please try and change it. Don't be like me. All right. So we'll move on to the next design. So there is color harmony. The color choice is really good. This background is not white. It is looks like a lilac, and is also a shade of purple. I remember we talked about color harmony and color scheme, and we talked about monochrome. Right, so we said our monochrome is different shades of one color. So this lilac too can be gotten from there. So there's blend between the design is not shouty. No, there's no shout to it. It's calm. Every color is nice. All right. You can see the text itself. Her name is actually sampled from this one. So everything balances it out. There is no foreign color from the design. There's white from it, and there's also white from the background. There's white on her shirt is white, so everything balances. The only little thing that may be off entirely that is not even part of the color choice is black right here, right? Could I use maybe this colors? Like, could I just sample this one? It just make everything the same thing, right? But in general, it is a great design. Just make few adjustments to it, and yeah, good to go. All right. So before we continue, it is actually good to state that to be better in design, it is not really a day's job. I don't even think to be better in anything is a day's job. It's something that you have to just keep doing consistently, right? You have to just keep practicing, and gradually you recognize the changes yourself without being told. You would know that okay, yes, I am better than I used to be. All right. So Decent. I hope you can hear me now because I think this is. Let me confirm. Decent. I hope you can hear me because I think this is your design now. So any okay, Decent left. All right. So let me just. I think we should. I will skip Decent's design till she joins. So any observation we have on her design, she'll be able to get it.
She's
Right.
here, sir. She's here.
Okay, okay, she's back. All right, all right. Okay, so I'm Decent. Welcome back. Sorry about your network. It's a story of us. All right. So Decent. Now this is your design. Is good. The You have a frame, an arc. You have an arc here which you placed. This is a frame obviously that you placed your image in. Real good. It's all right. Okay. Oh, I was zoomed in before. All right. So yes. So your arc here right now is not touching the edge of this image. Then I am seeing some white line on the side, some space. So kind of feels like maybe the design itself was not extended to the edge. But if it was part of the design, if it was part of the design, maybe intentional part of the design, then you would agree that the spaces are not equal. You can see on your left, you have a much greater white space than you have on your right, right? So if this white space is a design, it's part of your design, then you try as much as possible to center this whole thing to make sure that these spaces are equal, right? Because the brain basically knows how to detect imbalances and things that are not balanced. Imbalances in design basically. You may not you as a designer may not know, or even without being a graphic designer or anybody at all, if you see a design that is not balanced, if you see something that is off in design, you will know, you'll be able to tell. So you don't have to be a designer to be able to tell that okay, now something is a little bit off here, right? So anybody can tell, anybody can say, okay, now this is not balanced. So you don't have to be a designer to do that. All right. So your name, Decent, all right, is good font. Good font. It is legible. Follows the principle of proximity. So we know, okay, the most important part is if somebody looks at this design, the first thing they see is your picture, then they see your name, like, okay, oh yeah, this lady right here is Decent. This is our name, right? So this is okay. And so then this element now, this line and this star is directly under your name, is interfering with the name. So the element could have come maybe a little bit down, or you reduce it, or you can just place it on top, right? So that one could work. Then the next one is okay. So the contrast between the background and your name is good. I mean, you have a different shade of background blue. Then you have another color for the name is legible. You can see it. Then your name, okay. All right. So what I noticed about this one is your name. The details about them is the body of your text. The body of your design is close, closer to your name. Is more closer to your name than it is to the right. Spacing, space management. You have to make sure that it is spaced. Elements do not choke one another. Like let your designs breathe. All right. You give them rooms. You give them room or rooms to breathe. Like just don't choke them. All right. So this is a little bit too close to your image. So you can just nudge it. I mean push it to the center. Just push it to the center. You can Does not necessarily mean you have to align it to the center. Just push it to the center. Let it have more space from here to here. And you can see the space between this one and here is lesser than what it is between here and here, right? Okay, so that's that. Then you have your contact details right here. So LinkedIn icon is very, very visible on this dark background. Your name white on this dark background. I can see it clearly. So this one now, though I know it is a Gmail address, but you know the way the mind works. If there's an information on the page, even though the mind knows, yeah, it might want to still deny that it does not know. It wants to confirm. It is almost the same thing as people saying that there's this fun fact that says our eye can actually see our nose, but it tries to ignore it. All right, so this is also the same case in design. Our eyes can actually see some things on design, but because of the contrast between them, if they are not clear, our brains do not want to assume that they are seeing it. They want to confirm that, okay, is this what I'm seeing? Is this what is actually there? So they'll confirm what they are seeing and not confuse. So, the reason for saying that is the Gmail icon you put here, right? You have a darker background, and the Gmail icon you put here is also dark, so it is not legible. It cannot be seen. So you can either make it white, or you make it a shade of this blue. So you maintain consistency between this blue and this icon. And in fact, this blue itself, right? Because this blue actually is a shade of this one, and almost looks similar. All right, so that's that. The design is straight to the point, not too much paparazzi or whatnot. It's just straight to the point, and everything looks good to go. So the next design now is okay. Let me check if there's anybody raising hand or any question. Okay, no question. So is there any observation on our design, or we should just proceed? All right, nothing. Okay, so let's go back to the next design. All right, so the next design is comfort design. All right, so comfort used gradients for the background. So gradient basically are when you fuse two colors together, two harmonious colors together. That means two colors that balance themselves, right? So when you fuse them together, that is what a gradient is. So on our background now, Comforter has a gradient background. All right, so I'm checking it on my phone too, just in case. All right, so yes, so she has two images. So this one looks like a design we analyzed earlier, the template. All right, so but then there's a tweaking to it. So that is what design is. Basically, design, there's nothing new. There's really nothing new in the designing world or the designing industry entirely itself. You cannot see any design that's like this is the first time anyone is making it. No. Any design you see out there, someone has done it. What you're about to do, someone has done it. What you would do today, someone will still wake up tomorrow and redo it. But then they'll redo it in a different way. But if you look closely, you'll be able to detect that this one looks like that design, but then it is not the same thing, right? So like I was saying, we had this design we analyzed before this one that has the same template, right? But then the comfort actually changed everything. She spiced everything up a little, so that makes you a designer, or even not even only a designer, even as a marketer. There are different marketing campaign, different principles and everything that out there. So you can just use it, tweak it to your own liking, tweak it to your own understanding, and tweak it to the extent that it will function for your brand. All right. So okay. So that being said, okay. So we have your social media handles, right? So I checked on the phone too. The social media handles are very small. They are not legible. I mean, legible. They are not easy to read. So you have to just increase the sizes of your social media handle. So the fact that you have, okay, let's say one, two, you have more than one, right? You want to, oh, okay, sorry. You want to include more than one of the handles in there. You just have to try as much as possible to make it legible. So your viewers will be able to read. All right, so by now we know that designs, you can have different types of design, right? Different styles in your design. So just like the one we said earlier, the picture is slanted, is arranged in a way. This one is also arranged in a way, and it's just everything to achieve aesthetics and a different style to design. All your design do not have to follow one rule that okay, everything has to start on the left end or the right. Be no, you also have to try as much as possible to make sure that it is really good. All right. So then the contrast between this love do that you have down here and the background is not so great. Same thing as this. This is like a shout. It's just like an exclamation mark um, without the dots. Right. So the contrast between them not so great, not so visible. We try and use another color for it. All right. So that's that. Any addition or anything else? Any observation or any question? All right, so we move on. There's nothing for now. Okay. What? Sorry. Okay. So we have this one in PDF. I think I opened it. Comment. So requires design. Let me. Is this comment? Okay. Comment. I'll share. I'll share this design because comment. Tab. All right. Okay. So the next design you are seeing in the group is actually in a PDF. All right. So I had to open it on my PC. I hope you can see this one. Can we see this design?
Yes.
All right. Very good. All right. So the next design is Rukoya's design. So it's get to know Rukoya. All right. So the first frame. Wait. Let me see how many frames we have. We have 6 slides. We have 6 slides. All right. So the first one is the introductory part. You get to know Rukoya. Has stars, rainbows, has love and flowers. Then you have your picture right here. Let's go through the slides first. Okay. Let me reduce the size of this so you can see from far. Okay, so we have 6 slides for Koya's design. So the first one is we get to know Koya, which just shows our picture and our friend's picture. All right. So I think in a situation like this, sometimes people might be confused. Sometimes, I'm saying sometimes, people might be confused as to who exactly is Rukoya. Is this you or is this you? It can happen. All right. So you want people to know that you are the one. So if you're introducing yourself, it ought to be your own picture solely. But I understand might be a situation where you don't have your own picture alone. Like some of us don't take pictures and the rest. But then you just try as much as possible to have your own picture. So you don't want your readers to be confused or even have a doubt to the information you are giving. Right. So you just have to make your own picture. So the elements you put, the stars and the rest, playful elements, real good. But then the little thing there is this these stars could actually be good, but you could have maybe changed the color a bit. Maybe instead of using the hologramic effect or the rainbows in it, you just use maybe solid shapes. I mean normal shapes. Understand? Right. So that's down the design. Design is placed. Get to know require is follows the principle of proximity, gets your attention. I mean, it is important part of the design. So it is what she wants you to see first. So it is legible. All right. So the picture is placed very good and has tips on the side. So move on to the next. So this is the next slide. It says, hello everyone. Then we go on to this box. My name is Ijale Rukoya Bisola and I'm a Muslim. All right, so this is all Rukoya wants you to know. Her name and her religion, right? So, and she placed it in the design. All right, so a little bit of something here is the spacing between this whole rectangle and this image and this one, they are not the same. They are not equal. You can see, you can notice that the space right here is little, it's tiny to this one. They have big space right here. So you have to try as much as possible. You have to try as much as possible to balance your spacing in your design. You have to look at it carefully and balance your spacing. Just like I mentioned earlier, sometimes you don't even have to be a designer to notice that some things are not balanced in design. All right. So, but nonetheless, you can maybe reduce, just suspend this one first, try and increase the size of this image. Then you create an alignment between the bottom of this one and the bottom of this one. All right. So that's that. The color choice is okay. There's great contrast between everything. I mean, this color is darker and this one is lighter. You can see it, and the text itself has an effect. Has an effect on it. All right. So that's that. The next one is about me. So, about me, the graduate of mass comm. The text, the entire body text, you can see that is centered aligned, right? It's centered aligned, but about me is left aligned. It's placed to the left. So about me section could have been placed to the middle. So let everything in your design be center aligned. If maybe you want to change, you can change this one to let it be left aligned, but or you can change this one. You can either change either of the elements to match the other one, or yes, just change either of the elements to match. You can change this one to match this one, or change this one to match this one. Either ways, you ensure there's consistency. All right. So then I remember that the first page, this one, has the same color as the third page. All right. So now I'm hoping the second page has the same color as the fourth page. So let me look down. Okay, it looks like it. It looks like the second page now looks like it has the same color with the fourth page because there's a tint of it inside. All right, very good. So a little thing right here now is the contrast between the body of the text, right? The contrast between the body of the text and the background is not so great because though to plenty people might read it, plenty people might be able to read, especially young ones can read it. But you want to try as much as possible to make sure that your design is accessible. And by accessible, we mean the design can be read by anybody of any age, you understand, of any age. Like, so you want to make sure that that is what accessibility is. So this background might stay the same, but you have to change the color of this one to a darker color, right? So okay, so all right, so I realize that there's an introduction of a new color set here could work. Then you have favorite weekend activities. She loves reading, exercising, and cooking. All right. So every activity she loves doing, she has an image to reinforce them in this design, which is very, very okay. It is good. You can choose to do this. These images, they are aligned to the center. That means they are placed to the center of this canvas. Also, the reading exercise and also are also placed to the center of the canvas. But there is a little bit of imbalance between the reading box, the text and the image. You can see that the box comes out to the left than it does to the right. There is no balance between this one and this one. There is balance between the exercising image and the exercising font text. There's also balance between cooking, the image, and this one. All right. So the design designer could just try and move this and make sure it is properly aligned with this one. Then the last one says, "That's all. Thank you." All right. So this one, because the designer used a slide, right? Because the designer used a slide, the designer is trying to let you know that you've come to the end of the slide and thank you for sticking with me to the end of the slide. So this is appropriate and the rest. And the image here is a smiley emoji. You have about a bunch of them, but you have a smiley emoji and the same style of icons the designer has been using from the beginning that was also repeated to the end of the design. And the color of the end page matches the first one. So yes, there's consistency in design and there's careful usage of pictures in it. Meaning, you see pictures here, reading, exercising, and food. Then thank you has a smiley emoji on this one. So overall, this is a great design. All right. So we'll move on to the next slide. Let me go back and share the one from WhatsApp. Okay, I think we're supposed to be here. Okay, in a bit. I'll share the screen now. All right, so can we see this next screen? Temitayo's screen. Design, rather.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, Temitayo's design is sweet. All right, it's good. This is not to say every other person's design is not. No, we are only analyzing design to make our designs better. All right, so this design has a dark background, has the image in aligned to the center. So the first thing we see is "Meet Me," which has a great contrast between the text and the background. You can read the text. If you can see an element on the design and it is not interfering with the background, that is contrast in play, right? So her name also has good contrast with the background. Then she has AKA Jemmy G. I hope I'm pronouncing it well, right? So she has her name. So you have to look at the principle of hierarchy here in play. The first one is "Meet Me," right? So this is important. It's calling your attention to come and meet Temitayo. Then the next thing you see is Temitayo's name in bold, big font, big letters up here. You feel like, okay, meet me. Oh, this person, Temitayo. So you're coming down, aka Jemmy G, right? So aka Jemmy G is not really as important as this one, but it is important. But then the attention is drawn more to this than this one. All right. So and this one uses different fonts, different fonts. All right. So in design, you have to try as much as possible to limit the choice of your font. You have to try as much as possible to limit it. I think maximum fonts you can just use is 3. This is for consistency too, because you want to make sure your font is the same here, is the same here. So if you're even going to change, just use 2. Or if you feel like you need more fonts, you can decide to use 3 fonts, right? So on this design now, the overall design is nice, is good, but we have, excuse me, we have 3 different fonts. I think is it 3 or even more than 3? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. So we have 6 fonts in this design. So number one thing is the fonts. The number of fonts in design has to be limited, so as much as possible to make it limited. All right. So we now talk about the alignment. So from up here down to digital marketing, everything is aligned to the center and is properly aligned. But the moment you move down to Dream Workplace, CSR department, Microsoft, you realize that okay, now this thing is a little bit off to the left, right? I am very sure without mentioning it, before we even got to this place, plenty of you might have seen that okay, now this is not really aligned to the rest of the element. So it is a gradual process. The first thing is just you have to just first be able to recognize what has been done in the design, you have to recognize that, okay, is this okay? Is this isn't okay? Where should this one have been placed? If you're able to analyze designs and you keep practicing, you'll be able to create your own design to follow suit these principles to be able to pass down your message. So the overall design is okay. You just try as much as possible to limit the choice of the numbers of your font. All right, for the design, good. Okay, so let me check the group of this. Okay, Digital Fab.
Yes, sir. Still on Temitayo's design. I think
Okay.
the overall design is fantastic. I like the balance in the color, and looking down to her own picture where she's wearing a colorful dress. So it really balances the whole atmosphere. But speaking of the fonts she used, I'm very sure that are also known as is Temi T, not Jamie
Oh,
G.
it is
So
T.
the choice of font has really um affected understanding what she wrote there. So, and I think aside from that, the picture, like herself in the picture, makes it look further. Like you have to zoom out to really see her picture, like to really see her in the picture rather. So since
Okay,
we
yeah.
are meeting her,
Mm.
we don't need to go that far to want to see her in the old design. So that's what I feel. That's my contribution actually.
All right. Thank you very much, Digital Fab. Thank you very much. All right. So, apologies to Temi T. I think I checked the chat just now. You have corrected it that it is Temi T. So you see what we're talking about. The font, the choice of. Okay, Digital Fab, you're still raising your hand. Let me ask
No,
him.
no, sir, no, sir.
Okay. All right. Temiti, let me apologize again for mispronouncing your name as Jemmy G. All right. So you see that it is not really entirely my fault, right, for pronouncing it as Jemmy G. It is because of you see that not even I did not mispronounce the Mitayo Abiola. I did not mispronounce Meet Me. I did not even mispronounce any of these things because the fonts they are clear. I can see what you wrote. But the moment I got down to this place, I thought it was J. I thought it was J. You see, your designers, if you make designs, right? If you make designs, it's just like you writing an exam. When you write the exams and there's a little bit of error somewhere, if you submit, when the teacher or the lecturer is marking on his grading, will not be there to explain that, nah, this is what I meant to write here, sir, not what you are thinking I wrote. You understand? So will not be there. It is the same thing as designs. So when you finish making your designs and you set them out, right, you'll not be there to start correcting the multitude of viewers and say, no, this is not what is there, this is what ought to be there, right? So it is at your own end now. You have to make sure that anything you are putting out is clear and is direct. Users or your viewers do not have to assume that, okay, this is what they meant. So when I saw this one, I actually thought it was J. I thought it was J. That's why I said it's Jemmy G. But so they have to make corrections to that. And just like Digital Fab pointed, we are trying to meet you for the first time, and we don't really have to go through the what now the stress of having to zoom in your picture to know who is this person, right? We want to see your face clearly. So even if maybe your colleagues in the in digital marketing see you, they know that, okay, if they don't want to call you by Temitaya, they know, oh yeah, this is Temiti, right? So that is that. Thank you very much for the input. So let me see if there's any question or anybody raising hand before we move. Oh, okay, there's none. All right, so move on to the next design. So this next design is from Solomon Okunyemi, where he states that it's a design assignment. Okay. All right, Solomon. Before we go in on the design, the first thing is just you don't need to put the design assignment. All right. So we want to know about you. We want to know about you, right? We know it is a design assignment. So, but right now we're really concerned about knowing about you. Right? So the way this one reads neither is that Solomon Ogunyemi design assignment. So we are forced to think that with a design assignment is like his AK or design assignment is like his job or what. You get. So if this thing is posted outside, though some people might just really understand that, okay, this is an assignment. But just like we said in the previous listing, leave no room for your viewers to assume things. I think the only times you can do that is when you are making some creative designs and that have to do with product and rest. But let's leave that for now, right? But this one now, the aim, you have to consider the aim of your design. The aim of your design is to inform or to educate. So when you're trying to inform or educate, the aim itself is to make sure your design is gotten directly. All right. So that being said, so we've spoken about how designers can use one particular template of design, tweak it to their own likeness or tweak it to suit their own person. So real good. So the first thing I noticed right here now is that we've seen this template of design before, yeah, but this is not the same way it was done, right? This color of this background that Solomon Ogunyemi is on has the same thing as the shade of the tie. So if you look at it closely now, there's balance between the color contrast. Everything looks good for now. All right, then we have the body of the text, which is all caps. Hey there, Solomon Adedotun Ogunyemi. All right, diving marketing. Okay, so it has jollof rice count means. Okay, the details of it. Let's leave the details of it first. All right, so what we're now going to say about is the alignment of Solomon Ogunyemi could have been brought to align with this one, but the body of the text. This is body of the text itself. So you could have just brought it down to, you move it to the right, like you move it like this. You make sure S starts with this line here, right? Then you have your contact details under here. You have each under here. So, and when you look at this one closely, you would notice that your contact address has less space on the left, then more space on the right. If you are choosing to center it, if you are choosing to center align it, you make sure that there is equal space on the left and also on the right. So that's for this one. Then the choice of your text style. Now you wrote everything in all cap. More mainly, I don't know if maybe you've ever received any letter or anything that everything is written in all caps. No, I think if you want to write stuff in all caps, a body of a text or body of anything is usually not written in all caps. It is mainly the headers you write in all caps. All right. So the body, no really all caps, just small case, and you know how the rules of grammar are, beginning a capital letter for the first one and the rest. So you could just change this one. And I'm thinking this first text, this first one is smaller, the why this one is bigger. Is anybody seeing the same thing?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Somebody say the dream work. Okay. Thank you very much, Tomishin. Thank you. All right. So yeah. So as I was saying now, this first text is smaller than this one. All right. So you also have to make sure everything is of the same size, because this is basically the body of the text. All right. So that's that for Solomon's design. So there's also great contrast between the background and the text, so it's good to go. Just make the adjustments when necessary. All right, the next one is Rahma's design. So we have Rahma's design here, has a little bit of hologramic background. Hologram, that means sort of like a rainbow, just the color blend and the rest. So the background is nice. I like the background. You can see this part of the background actually matches her clothes, right? So the background matches her clothes and it's really nice. Then she has an arc. She added a picture to an arc. Then there's also an outline of the arc with stars on it, right? So there are two lines. We have two horizontal lines up top, two horizontal lines at the bottom too. And you can see that the space between the edge of the design to this one is the same as this one too. So there's consistency between these two items, these two elements. There's also consistency between the space or the distance between these two lines as the same thing as this one. All right. So now let's go down to the text. So the first text is get to know me. All right. So get to know me. I think could have breaking this one down a little. Maybe the me could have come under here, or in any case, you could just reduce it because the get to know me is looking to come over to. If you look at this line, the line of this one, yeah, this is this one's bounding box, but at the edge of this arc, now you would see. So you have to imaginarily draw the line and see that this one has actually gone into this box. So you just try as much as well to move it back. And if you're moving it back, if you feel like it is getting to the edge here, reduce the size or you break it down. You let me come under here. All right. So this is this, and the body of the text now. There's a great contrast between the body of the text because the background is light, then the text itself is dark. Also has the same color as this one. So generally speaking, now you see there's consistency between the text in the color of the text, right? So the same color as this one, and there's also consistency in the alignment because if it is a one line text, it can be either left aligned or center aligned or even right aligned. But down will determine it. Down will depend on the context that follows. So this one now is center aligned. It is nice, all right. But I'm thinking, what if you make this one aligned to the left? I'm just thinking, but the way it is now, there's really no problem with it. All right. Then the space between this one and this one is huge. It's huge. All right. So you just try as much as possible to reduce the space between it. But overall, it is a clean and straight design. It's clean and straight to the point. So right. So that's that for Rama's design. So I'll move on to the next one now is Rachel's design, right? So Rachel goes straight to the point. Her name, her favorite food, and where she would like to work. Okay, so for Rachel's design now, yeah, the first thing you would notice is the alignment between the text. The alignment between the text. You see that okay, this is centered aligned, right? This is also centered aligned. This is centered aligned. So if there's one thing Rachel actually has done well here is the way we are these days is they say humans do not really like to read anymore these days. So any information you're passing out that is in the form of text, you have to try as much as possible to break them down into sections. So this is basically what Rachel has done in this design. So the first thing is she broke down this one, this one. They are all body of the text. They are all the same thing, giving you information. But if they are all clustered together, yeah, we don't really like reading these days. We really just like more pictures and less text. These days is more pictures, less text. So Rachel has done well to break everything down into different sections that makes it easier for our viewers to read. The font is legible, is clear. There's sharp contrast between the background and the this thing. All right. So, but then it is the alignments that we have an observation on. So this one is aligned to the center. This one aligned to the center, but placed in a different way. Aligned to the center, also placed. So it could be that everything as aligned to the center originally could also just drag the part of your favorite food, put it to the center of this one, put this one to the center of this one. So you have everything straight down. But then you can choose to align everything to the left. So you just know that everything starts from the left and goes down here. All right. So then, like we stated, that each element you use in design has to be intentional, has to function for something. Could be either aesthetics or could just give you more information. All right. So, if, for instance, now you can choose to use an arrow. Maybe use an arrow that points to either of the elements. That means you are guiding the viewer's eye to look at this place. If you use an arrow that points to your image, you are guiding the viewer's eye to look at your image. But so this we have this calendar and this clock down here. This is a stopwatch. So we don't really know the function of it in this design, right? So we don't know the function of it. So you have to just be sure that elements you are using has a function in design. Right. So just try as much as possible to align these ones as we have mentioned. Okay. So anything else to design? Okay, so there's nothing else. So we'll move on to the next one. All right, so the next one is Mary's design. Mary or Della Day, Mary's design. All right. So so the next one is Mary's design. Come in. Oh, okay. Sorry. Nafisa has just got my attention that one break. I didn't check the time. All right. We'll continue after break. We'll continue after break. All right. Thank you.
So can we all hear him?
No. I said we'll continue after
Continue
break. So
after break.
let me just type it. So we'll see. Okay, Emmanuel, thank you very much for the observation right there. I had to play the
Please,
back.
can you send the attendance again? Mine is not logging in. I've been trying to log in since. Thank you.
Yeah, I have sent it. Just look at it. I've sent it to the this now. I've sent it. Joseph, have you seen it?
No, I have not. I've not seen it.
Oh,
Where did you did you send it on? Did you send it on the Zoom or? Okay, I've seen it now.
No,
I've seen it now.
Yes.
I've seen it.
All right. All right. Thank you, Rama. Thank you very much. Emmanuel, thank you for sending it. Thank you for looking into all that. Right, so that's how Nadimi was listed. So the next one now is Candace design. The suite design is good. Okay. Who's this? You have to Joseph, if you can hear me, just kindly unmute yourself. Let me look for Okay, thank you. All right, so the next design is Candace family wise design and digital marketing about me. All right, so the design, overall design is nice. I like the color choice, the background, sweet, just as well as the image and everything contrasting. Very, very good contrast. Right. So the next thing I'll have to start carefully looking at the design itself and the juxtaposition of every other element. All right. So the first one is her name, in contrast to digital marketing. Okay, aligned to the center, but it looks to be aligned to the left more than it is to the right. So the alignment between those two needs to be adjusted. Um, Her name entirely, right? You can see that the name looks to be on the left more than it is on the right. If you check it in relation to this one, the whole body of the text, right? You can see the space between it from here, see where the cursor is pointing at, from here down to this place. The space it is more on the left than it is on this place. So you could just drag Ademuyiwa and make sure it is aligned. And if you drag Ademuyiwa, you have to also drag digital marketing to this side and also about me to make sure everything is straight down. So if you do that, I think everything is fine as is. So yeah, there's not much to do. Yeah, so yeah, just do that little correction to it and yeah, I go to go.
Ours
Yeah.
is Famuyiwa,
Is what?
not Ademiwa.
It's Famuyiwa.
Ours
Okay.
is Famuyiwa.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, yours is Ademuyiwa, hers is Famuyiwa. Oh yeah.
Sir,
Thank you.
sorry, sir. I just wanted to confirm these corrections you're telling us to do. Do you want us to send it back to you, or how? Like, how would you see the corrections affected?
All right, so I think the goal at the end of the day is just to make the corrections and you effect it, then you resubmit. So yes,
Okay,
that's
sir.
yeah. Right. Yeah, come on. Okay, the next one. So yes, just like we know now, the next one now is we've seen this pattern. This is the third time we see this pattern, but then they're using it differently, right? So it's you as a graphic designer, or you as a designer, or you anybody at all. You can use one element and use it differently over time. So you get so this is one template of the entire thing, and everyone is using it differently. You can see this blue is actually the same blue with the name. Okay, so the contrast between everything right here now is sharp. is direct to the point. The contrast is great. Okay. So the thing now, the little thing we just need to do is the name and the body of the text need to go a little bit away from the image, the passport looking image. So the name and the body of the text need to just go away from it, just go forward, just go forward a little. All right. So they should do not be too close to this side. Then the space between the name John and the body of the text not the same. Then you have a much larger space right here. Okay. So the Emmanuel can just this follow me button that is here, just move it up. Make sure the bottom of this one is aligned to the bottom of this one. And maybe the top of this one, the top of your name is aligned to the top of this one. So you have balance between this one and this place, right? Then your social media handles where you want people to connect with you can come to this place. You make sure they align with everything that is on this right hand side. Yes, but the overall design is great. The color choice is all right too. So we have. Wait, I think we've done this one. Have we? I think we've done this one.
Yes, we have.
Okay, the font of the name. Okay, Mr. David has pointed to the font of the name. All right, let's go back to the font of the name. Let me go back. Okay, so the font of this is this image. Let me confirm if this is image. Mr. David, are you talking about Emmanuel's image or the previous one? Famuyiwa's own.
I think it's the previous one.
This one, Kende Famuyiwa.
Yes, it's this one.
Okay. Okay, this one. All right. So you can unmute and tell us what you think about the font of the name.
I'm in a noisy environment. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me, please?
I can hear you, Mr. David.
Okay, yeah. It's a fine job on its own. But I'm looking at grammar this time around. It's a proper noun. So I think that font didn't really go well because the K and the F is looking like small letters. So I think the font should be considered.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
thank you, Mr. David. All right, thank you very much. All right. Just like he said now, he noticed now this time he said he's looking at grammar, right? So he noticed that the K on Kehinde and the F on Famuyiwa ought to be in capital, right? So you have to consider, if you're writing your name. Okay, so let's say as a business professional or as a graphic designer or digital marketer, now you are making a presentation. Yes, you are making a presentation and you are not even following the rule of grammar or beat what it is, and you just make a presentation and just submit like that. Organization of your presentation, the preparation before your presentation, everything matters, everything counts. People look at it and feel like, nah, who is this person that is not listening? You get so things like that. You have to consider them too in your preparation and in your design. If you are typing your letter out to prospective investors, you'd make sure every T's are crossed and every I's are dotted, right? So yeah, just like what Mr. David said, could try as much as possible to just make sure the K is capital, then the F is capital, and that's that. Right. Okay. Thank you, Tomisin. Okay, so the next we've spoken about Emmanuel's system. And the all caps too, you could just change them to lower cases. Okay, yeah, we've done this one. All right, so the next one now is Bukola's design. So all right, Bukola's design, she removed the background from the design, real good. The overall color of this thing is nice. It matches the background. You can see the background separately. You can see the image. None is hindering the other's visibility. There's great contrast between our image and the background. She did not put it in a frame yet. picture is still standing out fine and it's beautiful in this place, right? So okay, so for Bukola's design now, she has her name and her track, everything contained in this shape. All right, everything is contained and is placed to the center of our image. So this one, you looking at the image, you look down and know, okay, yeah, this is Sadiq Bukola, and you look digital marketing, okay, this is what she's doing, right? So the next thing you come right to your right, then you check hi there, and every information that follows, everything is aligned to the center. Then you come down to read caption, and immediately you know that read caption does not align with this one. To know more also does not align with read caption because you can obviously see the space here in relation to this one. You can see the space here is much, the space here is less. All right, so read caption to know. All right, so you are trying to let people meet you, know more about you, and listen. So you have to just give your information as straight and direct, right? Don't use us basically use not even use us. All of us we don't have time. All of us we really don't have time to be looking for clues and the rest. We are supposed to, if you are designing or even marketing, you do the thinking for your customers. You're supposed to do the thinking for your customers. We our job is just to work like AI, right? They're supposed to just do the thinking for every thinking, every design. You think you in fact designers and marketers, we are overthinkers because we're overthinkers in the sense that when you are designing or creating your marketing content, yes, you don't want to give any room for anybody to start saying they don't understand or what does this person mean here? What is this one trying to say? No, you just want your design to just as they are coming across the design, they are getting the message and everyone is moving on. So let's imagine a billboard. There's this thing about all these billboards, these overhead boards, and basically you can have information like do not text and drive, right? And you want to sensitize drivers generally not to text and drive, and you are using billboard, and you know that by looking at billboard they're actually taking their eyes off the road for a split second. But then you want to use that split second to capture their attention and let them get their message straight. So in that instance now, your design is also going to be big, straight to the point. So you have split seconds to capture the person's attention. In that split seconds, you have that second still to get your message across. So we want to do that as much as possible to our design, right? So we just want to, no matter how much, we just if it is few seconds that we want our audience to see our design or our marketing campaigns or content, we want them to be able to get our messages straight and direct without having to do any thinking at all. Oh, okay, real good. Solomon actually took the correction of the design and did this thing. All right, so Solomon, this is real good. This is honestly this is good. All right, so as not even only designers or digital market, everybody, if you have a job you are doing, and you have client or customers, you have to be able to take correction and effect this correction and continue. It makes you better, then it makes everybody happy. It's a win-win situation, honestly, at the end of the day. All right, Solomon, this is good. This is good. More space to this place. I remember, I think it was all caps and the rest, right? So more space to this space. Nice. Oh, okay. Yeah, but Solomon, you look at this place, right? This is closer to this place. So reduce the weight. If this is, I think this is bold or medium. This is not bold. Medium, either bold or medium of this text. Right? If it is bold or medium, try to make it regular. Try making it regular and reduce the size. So your name itself can be in all cap. Then it can be like that. So okay, you see this one is aligned to the center now. Even space here, even space here. So yes, Solomon. Good work, Solomon. Good work. All right. So the next designer, which I think this is the last one. I'm not sure. Let me check. A minute, please. I want to check if this is the last design on this group. Okay, yes, this is the last design of the group. All right. So for digital marketing, then after digital marketing, we'll go into design class, design track. We'll go and check the Woman Crush Wednesday we did. So if you're in design class, if you've not sent yours, please kindly send them. All right. So this is a design from Ugochi. All right. This is a design from Ugochi. All right. So yes, this is the second time I'm seeing this template, but this time it has been used differently, has been modified differently to fit their need. Sorry. All right. So on alignment, about me, align centered. The information also align centered to about me. Great. The color contrast between those places is awesome. It's great. Everything is legible. You can read it. Anybody can read it. You know what is written down here. The next one is digital marketing. My favorite food is egg and plantain. Okay, so the way digital marketing is up here and this one is down here. I was actually thinking this one, my favorite food is egg and plantain, is a response to digital marketing. So I was thinking this is a response to this one. So this is an entirely different message and this is an entirely different message. But the way they appear to be on this place, they look to be the same thing. All right. Then the next one we have social media management brand. Okay, this one follows the angles of this shape. Follows it. It's tilted just like the way the booklet or the leaflet is tilted too. This one too is straight, so as this one straight. Okay, let me see. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this one. There's also a little bit more space on this place stand. Is in fact this one even goes outside this border. You can see the border, right? See the border, this brown one. The text, everything goes outside it. Right. So but in general it is a playful design, is another type of design and every element has been used for aesthetics and beautification. So yeah, we have come to the end of the analysis for digital marketing track. Okay. All right, so next we'll move on to checking the track for design track. So but this time we're checking on a Woman Crush Wednesday design. Okay, so there's assignment to come, but the assignment is for digital marketing track. All right, so I'll drop it after the class. So yes, I'll drop it after the class. Oh, okay, okay. Margaret just sent in a correction of very nice, very nice. Let me check it. All right, let me let me let me share the screen. So we'll see Margaret's correction. This is awesome. In a minute, in a minute. Okay, yes, yes. Thank you so much, Margaret, for sending me the correction real quick. All right, so this is good. I think I can remember the legibility of this text was not really great at first. It was black. Let me scroll to the top and compare. Come in. Okay, yes, I've seen it. Yeah, yeah. So it was the legibility between this one and the background was not really great. There was one paper texture element that was here that was not so great. Right, so she changed it. She removed it completely. Right, she removed it completely, reduced the size of the hello and even the text itself about me. Great, align it to this one. Okay, though this one is a little bit out to the left. All right. Then she changed the text of favorite color, which is more readable now. more readable. Give equal spacing between these two and the contact me information. And as a matter of fact, added a mobile number. So yes, Margaret, thank you very much. This is a great correction, and I am very certain that with time, the more designs you make, the better you become. Obviously, trust me. Now this is awesome. Thank you very much, Margaret. Wait, I think other designs still came in. Oh, okay, no.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very. You're welcome, ma'am. All right. So okay, so now we are going to design track. I'm going to design track. We have Woman Crush Wednesday's design to analyze. Okay, okay. Let me start from the beginning. Oh yes, this is the beginning. Okay, so I'll share the screen now. So excuse me, can we see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Okay, so the first design we're seeing here is Woman Crush Wednesday, right? So the first thing now we're seeing is we're seeing the image big. Then the next thing our eye goes to is Woman Crush Wednesday, which is also legible, centered aligned. Then elegance of a woman, also centered aligned to this one. So the color choice is perfect. Straight to the color is purple and is sweet, and the design is just clean, straight, and direct. No, there was no any other element added to it. It's just the design and the message. So this is the next design we have. This is from Digital Fab. We have Woman Crush Wednesday, right? So we have different elements. We have this irregular shapes that were used as elements. We have it repeated on the background. Then we have the element also as a stroke. We can call it stroke, we can call it outline. We have it on the background also. Plain, adding aesthetics to it. I think even on the background there are some doodles on the background like shapes. There are some doodles on the background that are faint, sort of faint on the background, right? So their transparency also was taken down. So they would not if this background was very, very visible, yeah, they would be dragging attention with this one. That means you'll be there'll just be this confusion between the mind. You would have to be looking at this one, looking at this one. But because the opacity is down, the focus mainly is on the lady, right? Then the text itself. Right. So look at this cool design right here. You know, the background here primarily is white, right? And she has the word she. So if you put a white text on this background, it is not legible. You will not see it. So for that case now, this designer chose to sample this red color and use it for the S. And the moment the H and E cross over on the red, they changed it to white. Legibility, contrast, right? This is contrast, this is legibility in play. If it will, okay, let's say the original color of this thing was all red, right? If it was all red, the red will show on the white, but the moment it crosses over to this place, you will not see it. So for us to be able to see it, the designer had to change this one to white. So, but then because of the principle of proximity, we know that elements that are close together are perceived to be the same, right? So that is why we know that okay, SHE is actually she, right? So if this S was a little bit far from here, we just say this is S, this is he. But even though their colors are different, they are close together and they still make sense. Okay. So we have the designer's social media icons up here in direct line. Everything is placed here. All right, digital fab is here, and elements, this red line. You can see another function of line, right? This one was used now to show you, okay, this is all together. Then this one is used as a pointer for guiding this side. Woman Crush Wednesday. All right. So the next one now we have the text. So you know originally this whole image is in the center of this canvas, the center of this frame. So the text now that follows that reads to every woman knows her worth and values who she is. You are my woman crush this Wednesday. Great. All right. So this one's also is aligned to the center. So values who she is. Yeah, my woman crush Wednesday. This has this stroke of this rounded edge rectangle behind it. This is either for aesthetics or for emphasis. We don't know. But then we know that because due to the fact that this brown this thing is under this one, emphasis is actually drawn more or attention is drawn more to this one than this two right ups. So that is how this is. All right, so I'll move on to the next slide. Let me check if there's okay. Nobody's raising their hands. Okay, it is for aesthetics. All right, thank you very much. Thank you for aesthetics. All right, the next one. All right, so this is the next design now. Our woman crush Wednesday. So live, love, laugh. All right, this is Magdalene's design. All right, so we have the text woman crush Wednesday written up top here. Then the Wednesday with a different font there had spice to it and variety to the design. And mind you, this color of his text was actually sampled from here. Then the black sampled from here, and everything, every color on it is actually related to every element. So there is no foreign color or anything that is different that does not belong here. Everything belongs. So the design arrangement is this is an element that was filled with the image, but it is more aligned to the left. It is more tilted or placed to the left, to the right, excuse me, to the right than it is to the left. You can see the space between this edge and this rounded edge rectangle. It is much, then you have less of it on this space. All right, so it was placed here. There is no alignment between this one and this one, and Woman Crush Wednesday. So, and this is perfectly aligned to the center, aligned to the center, aligned to the center, but no equal spacing between them. All right. So, but yeah, this can be closer to this one than this one. It is okay to be like that, but just try as much as possible. This one is aligned properly to the center. Right. So yeah, Magdalene, take notes. Okay, P. Kanye's design. This is from P. Kanye's design. He chose to abbreviate it. He or she chose to abbreviate their Woman Crush Wednesday has WCW, just like Woman Crush Wednesday has a love icon on it, has two flowers on the edge, top edge here, and towards this angle. Then you have lip. This is kiss on the image. So yes, design is simple, straight to the point. All right. So the designer chose to put their name up here too. So let's say this is their logo. All right. So yeah, so designer chose to put their name up here. So the design is straight to the point and direct. Nothing too much. Okay, so we'll move on. Okay, so on our next design now, which is the Woman Crush Wednesday, we have Woman Crush, strong woman, don't have attitude, they have standard boundaries. All right, so now from the design itself, that means the background itself, we can tell quickly that this one is touching the edge and this one has more space. So therefore, it is not properly aligned to the canvas, that means to the whole design. Right. So that is first one. As a matter of choice, as a matter of color choice, the designer chose few color choice, which is good. You can have one or two colors in your design, which is acceptable. All right. Then the text now, the text is you have woman crush aligned to the right. Just as this one is touching the edge, this one is also touching the edge, which is not so great. Then you have this one differently aligned to the center. It is not even aligned as this one. So you have to choose a position to align your images to and make the corrections to that. All right. Okay, so our next design right here now is this one has Woman Crush Wednesday, WCW 1, 2, 3 repeated, right? It kind of now looks like an element for aesthetics. Looks like an element, just like how these ones are. It's part of the design. Then you have the love icon placed in the center, right? It's placed in the center. You have a little right up here to place in the center. All right, but as far as I can tell, yeah, this Woman Crush Wednesday and the text itself has less space here and has more space on the right. So this here is not aligned properly to the Woman Crush Wednesday, to the heart shape, love shape, heart shape. What else? All right. So the next one now is the image. The image used. I mean, you have Woman Crush Wednesday, so it is proper that you have the person's image in your design. So the designer placed their crush in the design, but you have this sharp edge. So obviously, the designer had to remove the image background to be able to place the image here, but you have this sharp edge to it, right? So so if you're in okay, not only if you're in this thing, you have the child mode. Okay, if you gave this work to a graphic designer and you had this design back with this sharp edge, which we know naturally it is not like this. The only thing that cut this place off was the image frame. That's why this image was cut off. So you try as much as possible to conceal this place. Conceal, that means you hide it in every possible way. So everything looks close to reality, right? And the image itself is not even touching the bottom. Okay, let me scroll. Let me zoom it. Zoom. All right, so you look at the image itself and the bottom of the canvas is not touching. So you have to make sure this one gets to the edge of it. Right, so Woman Crush Wednesday, a great color, pink for feminine. All right, that's awesome. All right, the next one. To have spotlight featured team member. Okay, so this one looks like from a company, right? Let's say this is a company that is wishing one of their employees. Okay, this is a company that is recognizing one of their employees as their Woman Crush Wednesday. So featured team member, Woman Crush Wednesday, written here. This one aligns to the center. The image aligns to the center, just like this one. Rita Maria James, the Woman Crush Wednesday's picture. Then the place she works, obviously, which is Borsell. Is it Borsell or Borselli Nigeria Limited on the inside, and the company's logo right here. All right. So here's the thing now. The alignment is great. Everything is aligned to the center, right? Everything is aligned to the center. But you can see that this image is less, like almost looks like this one is close to it and could be touching it any minute from now or anything. All right. So Rita, you already have the name here. Though we know repetition sometimes can be for emphasis, but since you already have Rita's name down here, you could just suspend this one. All right. Then your logo, this logo right here, instead of placing it down here, you could just reduce its size and place it to the center of this canvas. So you make sure everything that you're placing is center aligned, because you have already started the alignment to the center. Right. So it's great color choice. There's great contrast between everything. There's no one element that you're not seeing that is blocking the other one. So yeah, there's great contrast between everything right there. Oh yes, Tommy she says minimalist design. I think it's about the previous one. Yes, it's minimalist. All right, minimalist is when you are using less. When you say less is more, so that is minimalist. All right. So okay, well this is another design. Woman Crush Wednesday is written up on top. Then you have the woman who's your crush on Wednesday. You have also WCW on the background and is duplicated severally, and the opacity is taken down because it is not so white like this one. All right. So we have some elements placed on the edge. These are flowers. Then there's blur effect. Oh my god, I am so sorry for this noise. Let me mute a bit. Okay, I am so sorry about that noise. It's a vehicle that is passing the listen that started the noise. So I'm so sorry about it. Right. So I'll go back to the design. All right, so the color choice is great. It's pink. Just so everybody knows that women like pink. So yes, color is there's great contrast between everything, and I like this. This is a rounded edge rectangle that was placed on top of the image to, and the W woman crush Wednesday was is here and is clear. So yeah, this is all right. So our next design now is on this one. We're looking at woman crush Wednesday. All right. So the first thing I'm noticing now is you have double edge here. So remember the thing we said about to try as much as possible to cross check to proofread your work before you send them out. All right. So yeah, so it's the first thing you have to make correction on. So, but that being said, the next thing is you have your elements now all placed to the center. Right? Yes, they are centrally aligned. But I can perceive that there is more space here than there is on the left. I don't know. Maybe you should someone look at it and confirm if what I'm saying is accurate. There's more space on the right here than there is on the left.
Yes, sir, you're correct, sir.
All right.
Very
Thank you very
correct.
much.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, so yes, so the design I have to take notes. So you just make sure that it is properly aligned to the center. You have equal space on both sides. All right. So I think it's almost the same thing with here too. So the design is tilted to one side. All right. So the next one is strength of a woman. All right. This is aligned to the center too. Okay. The tail of. Okay. So basically, all of these ones are okay. You have great contrast between them. You have great contrast between the element. And as a matter of fact, now there is also an image on the background that I can see, or probably the same woman, right? You took another picture of the person and repeated it on the background for emphasis. And you took down the opacity or the transparency to of the picture and it added to the effect of the design. So it is great. All right, so you just have to take note and make sure everything is placed appropriately and proportionately to this canvas or and every other element. Okay, so this is our next design now. This is our next design. This is clean. This is clean and simple, but yet still functional because it's straight to the point. All right, so the first thing we see the woman crush on her right, properly placed. The image is covering is reaching the edge. There is no white space beneath his proper. And yeah, like I said before, yes, you can have your images can be on the edge. Yes, they can be on the edge. That is allowed. That is permissible. But your text, do not let your text get to the edge of the page. All right. So the next thing we see, woman crush Wednesday. the color is actually sampled from the cap, right? And the contrast is great and is beautiful on the background. Then the next thing we have the text about the woman crush, which is the body of the text, right? Takes in another color, which we can actually find here too. Yeah, so almost every color that was used in this design is actually gotten from the image. Nothing was imported, right? So the woman crush Wednesday's name was actually included too. So this is Mrs. Mercy Chinwo, and the color I'm pretty sure was sampled from her skin. All right, so this is great. This is lovely, straight to the point and direct. And the designer chose to put in an element to spice up the design for aesthetics than function. All right, so that is allowed. All right, so we slide on to the next one. Okay, so yes, just like I said before, in design you can choose to have two different types of alignment, but you just know that you do them well, right? So if you have to align two different elements aligning differently in the design, but you know you do them well, so that is the important thing. So this is like three different types of alignment in this one, matter of fact. So the first one we have woman crush Wednesday again. Look at that person that has double S in the design. So please take note and just clean this one. Just remove that one. All right. So you have your woman crush Wednesday here. You have much space. They have less space between the body of the text itself. So you have to make correction. But so the alignment is great. The alignment is great. Everything is aligned accurately, aligned to the left. Then you are strong, you are wise, an affirmation or what it may be is aligned to the right to the image, right? It is good. It still makes the design okay. Design still functions. Then you have the woman crush Wednesday, the abbreviation of it aligning to the center just as the image is. All right. So and there's a little bit of effect was placed. A a rectangle was placed on this, and the opacity, a blue rectangle was placed on this, and the opacity was taken down. And I may not be sure of how this effect was achieved, but just like we mentioned in design class, there are different ways of doing one thing. Yeah. The designer could have done this thing differently, but if I was to do it now, the way I would approach it may be different from the way the designer did it. But at the end of the day, would end up with the same result. All right. So there are different ways to design one particular thing in design. All right. So the color choice is obviously sampled from the ladies' sweatshirts, and yes, there's great contrast between all of the design. All right. So yeah, this is good. All right. So our next design, woman crush, glow shine. All right. Woman crush Wednesday. This is from Kaizen or Kaizen. Correct me if I'm mispronouncing it. All right. So this is a textured design, right? This is a textured design. You can see the texture on the background. Remember the texture. This is not a smooth background, right? This is a texture background. So even texture gives feel to your design. It gives you some sort of depth of design. So this is a texture background. And you have the word woman has a text and has text style on it. Text that I mean has different style. You can see the text itself is this gold gold color and has a purple or pinkish background here. So that's the text style. You find it in Canva. Then you have Crush with the same text, but then different. I think the reason now is if the designer had used this design, this same color on this place for Crush, you probably may have not been able to see because of the legibility and contrast between them. All right, so Wednesday also is visible on this place and is great. Right. So strong, smart, simple, and stunning. The designer also put hashtag, right? Because there's definitely hashtag. Hashtag are one of the things that make your design or your post findable, or they will be able to be categorized in the same design search. So whenever anybody is looking for Woman Crush Wednesday, your design will be one of the things that will pop out first. Right. So the design is generally good. The texture, I like the texture particularly, and everything is awesome. Okay, wait, where are we? Okay, so the next design now. But excuse me, give me some seconds, please. All right. Thank you for that. Took a break for some. All right. So yes. Okay. So this is our next slide. Woman Crush Wednesday. The image is placed to the center, but then it was tilted for effect, which is okay. They have your text Woman Crush Wednesday placed on a stroke like background. Get so yeah. This is also a great design for and the visibility is great. Right, the visibility is great and much contrast, and the color is also awesome, and there's color harmony between everything. Because if you look closely, the color of the color background of the image is also the color of this background, and a shade of it also here. Then this element right here is the color of this element right here is also this one that looks like grill, I think, is also the same with the text. All right. So the designer has different elements to reinforce the beauty of, to add beauty to the design. All right. So this is okay. All right. So move on to the next design now. Okay. So yes. So remember we spoke about arrow, right? Remember we spoke about using elements to guide your user's direction to a particular place in your design. All right. So let's say this arrow was not even there in the first place. You would still know that this lady is the Woman Crush Wednesday, right? But then with the arrow still being on this design, it guides your direction to it, whether you like it or not. It guides you that okay, yeah, this is the person. I don't know if you've done it before where you want to wish somebody a happy birthday, but the picture of them you have has some people in it, other people in it. So if you're posting them on WhatsApp, I don't know if you've done it before, you draw an arrow to it. You draw an arrow pointing to the person. Has anyone done it before?
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much, Margaret. Thank you very much. All right. So yeah, if you've done that before, yes, what you did back then was you had picture of two people in it, but it is one person you are wishing a happy birthday. So when you now draw that arrow pointing to the person, you are guiding your viewer's direction to the person that okay, it is this person's birthday, it is not that person's birthday. All right. So that is function of element. That is one of the functions of element in design too. So in this case now, the arrow is guiding you straight to the lady, even though without the arrow you will still see the lady, but the arrow is still there to let you know that look here, this is who we're talking about. All right. So the arrow is actually guiding your view. Then the text now is you have the lady, then you have the text on this left, and this one is aligned to the center, so as this one too, so as the lady's name, the founder and CEO of our economy. All right, so the little adjustment we may have is the text is very close to the border, is very close to the edge of the frame, which you may have to adjust. You may have to reduce your text size. All right, so that being said, there is what's this, confetti. Is this confetti? I think there's confetti on the right to show celebration, or ribbons that are blown to show celebration. And since you are celebrating somebody, this also goes to contribute to the function of design and the aesthetics of it. All right, so remember monochrome, where we said one color with different shades. That is monochrome. See see the thicker color, see the one reduced, this one that has reduced opacity, and this one has more reduced transparency or opacity. So everything adds to different. This is a monochrome right here. Then we have effect to the text. You have just the text in which is bold. Then you have this one is just outline, right? So this can be halo effect in what you call it, Canva. Can be halo effect in Canva to get this one, or just outline and no fill, right? So the color is great, everything is looking nice. Just make sure your text is less closer to the border than it is right now. Okay, so our next slide, our next image is Mrs. Elags. Mrs. Elags, go get. Okay, all right. So the goal getter text is could have been great if this was maybe the goal getter is in small caps, but because the everything is in capital letter now is a little bit hard to hard to read kind of. Right, so you just maybe change this one. All right, Woman Crush Wednesday. Okay, the contrast between the background and the text is great, and this element this element right here, I do not know. I cannot say what function this is performing here. All right, but I know that the color from here is actually sampled from here. There's harmony. There's relationship between them. You sample them from here. Then the repetition of Woman Crush Wednesday, WCW on this place, I am not entirely sure that is really necessary or important here, right? So I see you duplicated the image and took down the transparency, which is good, all right? But you can rearrange the image. You can make this image itself be in the middle of this page, leave some space, then you can have this your text, these three of them, in the middle of this one, but they'll be on the right. So your design could just be easy, straight up, direct to the point without having to repeat this one. All right. So that's that. Okay. So on our next designer, we have Woman Crush Wednesday. Damilola Victoria. All right. So this is for Damilola Victoria. So the designer had the Woman Crush Wednesday in just outline, circle, no fill, just outline. All right. So even though we have this image, the image covering the Woman Crush Wednesday, but you still know that it's Woman Crush Wednesday. There's in design or even in anything, there are always times where there are trends of okay, let's say this particular thing that is trending. If you are familiar with magazines, if you maybe read magazines from time to time or see them, you see that most often than not, you see that the images are usually on the front page, then the text are behind the images. Sometimes you see the model covering a part of the image or maybe more of the image, but still you would know what is behind because our brains are super machines that can read, that recognize the first few letters and the rest and able to connect them. So yes, this design now sort of follows that trend of magazine designs, right? So that is why in design there's nothing new. There's nothing new in design. There are different things that have been done out there. So yours is just to you get inspired by them, you bring them into your design, you incorporate them, and you are good to go. All right. So Damlola is a shade of the background, but it is darker than the background, so it is legible. Victoria too is legible, is white, and is the designer chose to use a cursive font, which is stylish to add to the design's aesthetics and function. Aoma Crush Wednesday. All right, so I'm perceiving that Aoma Crush Wednesday is not so aligned to this one because I can see much space on this place than there is on this place. All right, so try as much as possible to that. So okay, this should be a petal. This should be a flower petal, right? This is petal on the repeated up and down here. All right. So far, great color choice and good element placement. Okay. So this is our next design now. We have Woman Crush Wednesday. This is from Tommy Creative Concept. All right. So this is our Woman Crush Wednesday. We have the image on the left. We have the image on the left. Then we have the text, Woman Crush. And Wednesday has a gradient. That means gradients, two colors that you fuse in together into one. Right. And for this gradient, it is a monochrome. And remember from what we learned earlier, monochromes are just one color, but different shades of one color. So the designer chose to use purple, a darker purple and a lighter purple, which are also in present in the ladies' clothing, right? So that is that. Then the designer chose to add a little bit of elements, Happy Wednesday, to let you know that yeah, this is on Wednesday and the rest. All right, so down here is the designer's social media icon and a QR code. So, meaning when you scan this QR code, it gives you all this information back. All right. So this designer chose to put their contact address just in case anybody wants to reach out. All right. So there is another element, love, that further signifies Macross Wednesdays. So the designer's logo also placed up here on the left. Let's see the alignment. I think it's aligned. I think it is. Okay. So the next one now is MB Arts Creatives Woman Crush Wednesday. All right. So I like this. I like this color. I like the color choice because it is red, red, a bit of pinkish red. Then the Woman Crush Wednesday is aligned to the center, but has been given a curve effect. I think you can find this curve effect in Canva. When you go to Canva, you go to effect. Okay, when you click on text, you go to effect, then you scroll down to style. You see this curve effect. You'll be able to apply it. Right. So that is how this is gotten. This place is centered. The image is centered. Then you have this boxes to also place to the center of they're also centered to the image, right? And everything has their own container. There are containers that have different items in them. So let's see what is inside. So if you want to follow them, number one, you follow them at this address. If you want to, you like and share. Who knows you might win a gift from us? All right, we post our last promotion. Okay, so this is. Oh, sorry. So this is a business. This is a business now that has Woman Crush Wednesday that is using the opportunity for more advertising of their business. All right, so you have repetition of this spring element on the inside. All right, the next slide is M Light Media. All right, so M Light Media says right now we have Juliet Benson, the Woman Crush Wednesday. His place is aligned to the center of the whole page. Then her name is actually aligned to the center to this one. And Woman Crush Wednesday, the abbreviation of it and the whole uh Woman Crush Wednesday written out in full also aligned to the center of it. This no. Woman Crush Wednesday is not really aligned to the center of this one. It's a little bit off on this side. So yes, but in general, the color choice is good. The placement is okay. There is there is a background that has the text that has a text, but the opacity is taken down. So try as much as possible to align this one, but nonetheless, overall design is great and everything looks good. Okay, so our Crush Wednesday basically this design is from Madame Onyinye, right? So she has the image on the right, Then you have other reinforcing image. You have the women makeup kit, right? The women makeup kit on the right also. So you have the color, you have the color too on this place, and there's great contrast between this text and this background. And the contrast here is there, but it's kind of sharp to the eye, not so great. So you could maybe sample this red here or one of these ones. All right, so this is also an element for aesthetics. So yes, this is okay. Let me see the alignment. The alignment between the texts are all properly aligned. All right, great. The space are not equal. They have more space here than there is here. So take note of that and hopefully make correction. Okay. The, wait, is this empty? Okay, this is another design from this designer. All right. So let's talk about me. You have this one in both text. This is bigger text. That means hierarchy. This is what you get to see first. Then the next information is getting to know the designer. All right. So, oh my God, sorry. Getting to know the designer, and wait, I think it's a video. All right, I'm getting to know the designer. So with this, you know with this information now that is aligned to the left, you know the designer and whatnot. All right. So, but what I was thinking is, could have these two notch them down, let the top of this one be aligned to the edge of this one. You'd have a great balance between them. Then this one, humanity is not a word. This text right here is too close to the edge of your the bottom line of it. So if for instance now you're supposed to print this design, yeah, some part of your text should be cut off. We call them bleed in design in printing. So they'll be cut off. So you don't want your text to be cut off because you definitely want people to read your text. That is why you put them in your design. All right. So I don't know. I'm talking about this. Okay, yeah, this is another design. Woman Crush Wednesday. So you have the image. You have the image primarily in the background. Then you have a rectangle placed. Then the opacity, the transparency of the rectangle taken down a bit. This is about 60 or 70, taken down a bit. Then you have the crush's name written on it with a great contrast between them. You have another line for aesthetics. They have a text, Woman Crush Wednesday. So this is good design, straight to the point and nothing too much. Okay, we've discussed that. Okay, yeah, this is our next design. So this is our Woman Crush Wednesday. The text written here, the image, the focal point. The image is the focal point, and the text is written here. And Rachel's name, the Woman Crush Wednesday's name is written down here, but not aligned to this one. Could I just spin here? Just push this back to this. Let's see, align to this one, and yeah, good to go. Overall design, great. We have gone over this one. All right, so this is another design. So this style is called. It looks like brutalism, right? If you online, you see different graphic design trends. So this one is brutalism, where they use elements like this. Don't worry, maybe your spare time you could just check what brutalism design is. You see, especially on Pinterest, you see brutalism design. Right? It is not like a brutal design or anything. It's just a trend, a name of the trend or something. Right? So that is that. So this design is cool. The image aligned to the center, right? It's supposed to be aligned to the center, but I can still see some imbalances with this. Like for instance, now the space between here and here is much, while the space between here and here is less. All right. So yes, I can still see some imbalances in this. Then also imbalance also happens here too. The space here is much, the space here is less. Right. So yes, that's that. Mark Crush Wednesday, the contrast between the image, the text, everything is great. You can read the text without any issue. All right. Then there's the designer chose to put a date here. So there's a date here, and the contrast is also great. And the elements too are repeated and consistent, right? They're repeated and consistent, and the background too is great. But it's just the alignment, not properly aligned. Much space here, less space here. So make sure it is in the center. Make sure this one is aligned to this one very well. Then you now make sure this one itself is aligned to the entire page. Overall design, great. Okay, so this next one now has more than one woman crush Wednesday. It has six. All right, so it has six of them. No, the designer has six women crush for Wednesdays. For Wednesday, all right. So they have the text aligned to the centered, then the images placed freely on the canvas because they have to put in a text here and which reads "You are beautiful." All right, so just try as much as possible to check the text. There is a typo here where A is missing. All right, so your work as a graphic designer or digital marketer is beyond designing or creating marketing materials or content or what. It also extends to grammar. You have to check that everything is accurate and proper. So the next thing is Woman Crush Day. So this text now is part of it, but it's not legible. It's not readable, and in fact, it is tilted. Right. So let it be legible and let it just go across the line straight. So you have a party celebration icon here that is celebrating the women. So it's part of the design and functions. Okay. So all right. So this is one more design. We have one more design, Queen of Highlight. All right. So for this, it's new. Are you saying something? Okay, system is about to go off. All right. Let me see. Understood. 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 All right. So is it no saying something? Okay, all right. Because I was hearing something from you, and okay, there's no problem. Okay. So can we still see my screen?
No, we can't. We can't see your screen, Mr. Dan.
Okay, okay. Sorry, I would reshare it now. I would share. Come in. Okay, it should be back on now. Should be back on now. All right. So this is our next design. Now we have this design. Okay, so we'll start with the image first. Okay, so the image has been cut out to have no background, right? And we can see the edges. We can see the edges of the image. The designer tried as much as possible to blend it and make it blend with the background, but we can see some irregularities to the edges of the image, and we can even see this sharp edge. So the designer could have just taken the image, let this sharp edge touch the sharp edge, so it in a way to conceal it. It will look like it is extending beyond it, and it could have just put it in a frame. And if it is in a frame, when viewing it, everyone will know, okay, yeah, this is in a frame, but it sort of like looks like it exists on its own, right? And yeah, you try and conceal any sharp edge of the image, like this top, like this hand. Then the text, Queen of Highlight. So the Queen, because of the legibility, because of the contrast between this red and this black, is not so great. So you can see the Queen is a little hard to read something, right? So just try as much as possible. If it is trying to move it out here, you could do that, or if you can use what somebody did design where they changed the text color when it came to the different background. All right, so that one could be done. So Man Crush Wednesday, this is great. The font is lovely, aligned to the right, right. Then this one is aligned to the center, different alignments, no no consistency between them. You can just align this one to the right too. So let this one too be on the right and let it follow this one. Overall design, good. All right. So your social media icon could be in the center because this rectangle is in the center. Could be in the center of this one. So yeah, that would be all. That would be all for this design. Thank you. All right. So for our next design now, we have Woman Crush Wednesday written up top here, aligned to the center of the design, has this little effect under it for aesthetics, real good. You can see the background and this one are also they belong to the same shade, the same shade. They are a monochrome, but then the background is actually the text is darker than the background, so you can still read it. So this is when you are using one shade to design, right? Then the image now, the quality of the image is, or is it my system? Let me check on my phone. Let me check on my phone. The quality of the image is not so great. Is this the same on your phone too? Someone please confirm.
The quality is very okay on my own phone. The quality of her
Your
image.
phone, right? Okay, so that means it's my phone that is seeing it differently. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for confirming that. So yes, the design is great. Design is great. Nothing too much. The image is there. You can see the Woman Crush Wednesday, and that is that. Okay, I can even see some small text at the back. Some smart, bold, strong. So yes, design is lovely. The color choice is good, and the element is great. So yes, good to go. Right. The next one now we have Woman Crush Wednesday. Okay, the tech baddie. All right. Oh wait, please. Excuse me. I want to ask for something a little bit. I'll join us back soon. Very soon.
And I'll be
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so if you are still in the if you are still in the class right now, so today is Friday, right? And Muslim brothers and sisters would need to go and pray. All right. So I just spoke to Michael about it, and he said that we can end the class for
It's almost 2 already, so I think it makes no difference.
them and design class. Don't you have done that, right? So people can go and pray. All right. So yeah, with that, we've come to the end of the class. Yeah. So have a good weekend.
No assignments.
There is assignment. I'll drop it in your group.
Okay.
Yes, yes. I'll drop it in your group.
Okay, Mr. Darlington, so we are ending the class now, right?
Yes, yes, we are. We're ending the class. Ending the class.
Okay, I want to believe everybody has filled out their attendance.
Yes, I filled out the attendance, but I was kind of late. I was 12:32 because of my network.
Okay, all right, it's fine. Yeah. Thank you.